Hey, it's me, Bodega, and today I'm with Daryl Myntia, a visual artist. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. How's your day been?
It's been pretty chill. I try to relax on Sunday. I mean, I did a couple of, well, a little bit of computer work, but other than that, try
Okay,
to relax today.
that's good. So let's get straight into it. How long you been a visual artist?
I've been a visual artist. I'm going to claim it for about 15 years.
Oh
I've been
wow.
painting since I was in high school, and I used to commission portraits or get commissioned to do portraits at different hair salons by my teachers. So I've been doing this for a little while.
Oh, that's really dope. Uh, how how did you started painting?
I always loved drawing
Hmm.
growing up. Um, my dad's a pretty talented artist, and he would teach me a few of the fundamentals of art and figure drawing. And so I just kept practicing. And some of my teachers saw something in me,
Okay.
and they kind of told me, like, you need to take this painting class.
Yeah.
So I did, and I stuck with it.
Oh, so it's like is a your family's really into the arts?
Um, yes. So I guess like my grandmother, she was a seamstress. She was also
Oh,
a
okay.
pianist. She could draw really well too.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, and my dad, he was a really great painter, and so he has some really artistic talent, but nobody chose to do it professionally.
Mm.
I was the only one that dared to dream.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
So how did that start? Like when did your teachers saw a talent in you? Because you said that a lot of your teachers pushed you to take art class and take it more serious.
I would probably say what, like my freshman or sophomore year of high school.
Mm.
Yeah. I was taking a drawing class and I did not want to paint at the
Oh, okay.
time.
Why?
I tried painting and I wasn't good at it. I didn't really understand. Like, my parents bought me an oil kit when I
Mm.
was younger,
Yeah.
but nobody told me, like, it takes days for oils to dry, especially if you
Oh,
don't include all of these other mediums with it.
okay. I didn't know that.
So, yeah, I got oil paint everywhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It wasn't what you imagined.
Nah, not at all. It wasn't like Bob Ross or
Oh,
anything,
okay. Oh,
the happy
yeah.
trees, all that. But they encouraged me to try
Hmm.
again. Taught me the things I needed to learn about it and what I needed to mix with it and things like that. I dabbled in acrylic and then I really got into oils. So yeah, I took my first painting class when I was in 10th grade.
Okay, that's really dope. How did you turn it into a profession? Because a lot of people, are artists, but they don't make the transition to doing it as a profession.
I went through a lot of phases. I wanted to be a medical illustrator.
What's that? Medical illustrator.
So that is, you can do a lot of different things with it. But it's pretty much someone who illustrates either the anatomy
Okay.
of a person or, it could be someone who illustrates the cells of a brain. Like, it's really, or
Glass.
yeah, thank you. Or it could be, the botanical arts and animals and things like that. So it's really just science-based drawing and painting in terms of that. And I wanted to do that all the way up till I was a senior in college.
Hmm.
And then my senior year, I just decided to stick with painting.
Portraits.
Not portraits. My work at that time was, I guess, a little conceptual, science-based,
Okay.
exploring things about identity. I did a series of paintings of me inside of my brain.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. You're trying to figure who you were.
Right,
Okay, I see.
So I had a professor when I was in college at Ohio University, and he's done a lot of work out here. And
Art wise.
so his name is John Zabraw. He was like my mentor, and he told me he thinks that I could, really pursue painting professionally, and so I decided to apply to grad school, and that's how I ended up in New York. I went to SVA.
Where were you originally based from?
I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, wow. How do you like it here compared to there, or the differences between here and Cincinnati?
I love it here. I've always known I wanted to live in New York. And it's just Cincinnati is, I mean, it's coming up in the art scene, but when I was growing up,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't really what people did. It was like, get a real job kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And it was also, it's just a little slower, you know, like,
Like not as not really everybody's not as
right.
in a hurry.
It's way more laid back.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
sometimes I get a little bored after a couple of days.
Yeah, okay. I can imagine.
So yeah, I prefer the city. I prefer, you know, going to the bodega any time of the night to get whatever I need.
That's very convenient. Any time of the night. If you want a toothbrush, you know, I'm out of toothbrushes.
Yeah.
Right there, bodega, boom. So, how was it during college, and discovering art and learning any of any painters that influenced you? Who you
When I was in college, I was probably really, I was a little full of myself.
okay, okay,
I think that I was just less interested in art history, but more interested in just the making of art.
okay.
And it wasn't until my mentor introduced me to another professor and said that I should take these one-on-one lessons from him in terms of learning about Black art history. Because I went to a PWI and I was
Which was the name of the school?
Ohio University.
Okay.
And it was, you know, I did not see very many reflections of myself
Yeah.
in those history lessons. So I started taking these one-on-ones, learning a little bit more about Harlem Renaissance, learning more about, you know, painters, sculptors like Elizabeth Catlett, even more current artists like Micheline Thomas, like those types of female figures in art really inspired me. So yeah.
Do you see like any other work influencing yours afterwards, after you became more in touch with art history?
Definitely. I think now that I grew up a little bit and have had some experiences, I'm I'm more interested in learning as much as I can now
Yeah.
in terms of history, whether it's white or black or, you know, whatever nationality. At this point in my career, I just want to learn as much as I can about my craft. And other people before me who have made phenomenal works of art, you know, what has inspired them. So, yeah, at this point, I'm really inspired by people from, you know, Manet to nowadays, like one of my favorite artists is Toyin Oshiotola.
Where's he from?
She
Oh, she.
is,
Sorry.
no problem. So I believe she's from, I don't want to mess this up.
Uh-oh.
We on camera
No,
too.
that's not good.
I know.
TikTok. Ding. What's it called? The
That
Jeopardy's
was a good question.
Yeah?
Dang, yeah, let me take a drink to that.
Sip, sip.
I want to say Nigeria.
Nigeria. You want to say Nigeria?
I want to
You
say
want to say
that. I
Nigeria?
want to Google on my phone.
You Google on your
too.
phone. You could Google on your phone. As you're Googling, don't worry. As you're Googling, I'll come up with some questions. What a, how would you describe your art now, as it has developed so far?
How would I describe how my art has developed? I was right. She is from Nigeria.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! You gotta trust your instincts.
Right. I guess My art is still inspired by nature and our reflections of nature. But I think that I've evolved more from talking about my identity and my personal
Yeah.
experiences to wanting to talk more about like human experiences and the things that we're all kind of just going through right now. So I guess it's just evolving as I evolve.
Yeah. I remember you did the art gallery last week. Was that last week? It was like 2 weeks
It
ago.
was, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You did last week. I saw a lot of the paintings. A lot of common themes were like womanhood. Was that a collection of paintings you did specifically for that theme?
Yes. So prior to the show last week, I had exhibited that work and about like 7 other works in a gallery at Kente Royal Gallery in Harlem. And I created all of those works in 2020, actually, mostly in 2021, between like January and March. But the idea started brewing, during the pandemic as we were seeing so much happening.
Yeah.
And I was going through things professionally and just kind of reflecting because at that, we had nothing but time to reflect.
Yeah. Well, lockdown.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was really just thinking about my experiences as a woman, the things that I've seen from the perspective of a black woman.
Yeah.
And I just had to purge out some work. And so
Yeah.
that's where
A lot of
that
pieces
work came from.
came from. I have a lot of questions on like when it comes to the business of being a painter, because it's a lot of it's commission work. People buy your pieces. You might not necessarily don't have to say any prices of any pieces, but how do you self come to like determine, okay, this is how much this was cost, and
Yeah. So I take a lot of things into account. And it's been a learning process. But so I would, and I took a lot of great advice from my peers in the art world and some people I went to school with. But I take into account that I have a master's degree.
yeah,
And I take into the account that I feel as if well, not that I feel that, but I'm confident that I'm a professional at what I do. I've got a couple of awards under my belt.
okay, okay. That's no. Why you say it like that? Like that's a big deal. I'm a world winter painter. This is not cheap right here, my good guy. Oh,
So those are just some things I take into account, but also, you know, it takes a lot to paint
yeah,
a painting, especially if it's a certain size. Materials are not cheap.
yeah. I'm assuming oil can be expensive,
Right.
right? Because how long it takes to dry. I just learned that from you.
Yes, oil is actually like the most expensive
Oh,
paint.
okay.
And then you also have to buy other solvents and things that go with it. And so you also take in your
What is
time.
that solvent?
So you have things like paint thinner,
Okay. Okay.
or you'll have things like liquid or linseed oil, things that'll change the porosity or the fluidity of the paint.
Okay.
And this allows you to manipulate it however you want it to be, or if you want texture, or if you want flat or glossy or matte or whatever.
I'm assuming the same paint, you can make it glossy or matte or with different. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I always assume you need to get different paint to get those effects.
You could, or you could play with your your mixing pot. So I guess every painter has a different percentage of solvents they'll use in their process.
Copy. Do painters keep that a secret? Like you know how what is it? Coca-Cola has the secret recipe. Like I'm not telling you how I got the shade of red. I'm not telling you what I mixed together. This is like secret.
I don't know.
I- I'm-
Honestly, I
I'm
feel
wondering.
like Some people might, keep their
Yeah.
process to like they'll give you a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're not going to give you too much because I guess they wouldn't want you to take
Yeah.
that process.
Yeah,
I
like, I'm
don't
not
know.
telling you the name of the paint thinner I use. No, no, no.
I don't mind telling you. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like people use all the same stuff.
I probably do. Um, how do you feel about art has become more and more like, I don't want to say popular, but more in the main people's in the eyes of people more. But I think people also see art as something to admire, but also as like something to hold on to because of value. What are your thoughts on that?
In terms of having something to hold on to, I
Yeah,
think that's extremely important. One of the things that I really love about making art or being an artist is that you are kind of putting your stamp on history
yeah,
and you're able to document history in some kind of way. And I think that's really powerful and special, especially when it comes to Black creatives. In terms of just how, I guess it's not really accessible, but just how,
yeah. It's more news now. You
yeah,
hear in the news a lot. Yeah,
I think that's good, but also, I mean, because we have like Instagram now, so,
yeah,
you know, you have, I guess, just different genres of art that's more in the forefront now.
yeah.
Now, I think it's kind of interesting because I've been wanting to do this since I was a little girl,
Hmm.
and now I just feel like I see a lot of people like popping up, like, "Hey, I want to be an artist
Yeah.
today."
You just doing it.
Right. But I mean, I think it's great that people are expressing themselves and that they have a way to showcase it too. So,
No, no, yeah, that's very important. So, what is your goal future wise, like from like your paintings? What are some of the things you're trying to achieve or work towards?
I definitely want to get a couple of fellowships.
What's fellowship like? Following under somebody?
So they could be awards where I have a particular time or
Oh,
space
okay.
to just work, and usually it's under some sort of institution, some school or museum.
Hmm.
And I have my lists that I would really,
Yeah.
want to knock off. I'm not gonna shoot them out there just
Okay,
yet, but
okay. You keep that in your pocket. Keep it in your pocket. You don't want to jinx it. I understand. I understand.
yeah, I want to do that. I want to, again, I guess getting those awards and accolades are important to me,
Yeah.
and there are certain galleries and curators that I would really like to work with.
Hmm.
So that's just really what I'm focusing on right now.
Oh wow. Well, I hope much success to you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Appreciate you.
It was a pleasure. All right. Oh, tell everybody where they can find your work, your art, your Instagram. Let them know your website.
Yep. So you guys can find my website at www.dmintia.com. Myntia is Myntia. I'm on Instagram at Daryl Myntia Studio Art. So be on the lookout.
All right. All right. Take care. All right.
Cool.
Bye.